Okay, let's take a look at the second example that is in your class notes packet. So Tanisha kicks a soccer ball during a game. Think of it. Think of what is happening to a soccer ball if you did like time exposure on a camera, because that's what we're comparing. The height of the ball at any given moment in time. You have the formula, the equation. We're told what x equals. It's the time in seconds. We're comparing it to the height, so we're going to let h be the height of the ball in feet. The a is negative 16, the b is 48, and you can see there's no constant added, which means that our c is 0. So to calculate our axis of symmetry, as always, I'm going to start by writing the formula. X equals the opposite of b over 2 times my a, which means that I have the opposite of some number divided by 2 times some other number. Fill in the numbers. B is 48, A is 16. So when I go to divide that now, I'm going to have negative 48 divided by negative 32, because the A was a negative value. We know that negative divided by negative is positive. 32 does not go into 48 without there being an integer. So we're going to end up with a fraction in this case. Let's just really quickly think about what common factors these have. I know that 8 goes into both of them, so I'm going to start there. 8 goes into 48 6 times. 8 goes into 32 4 times. Well, look at that. They're still divisible by 2, so I'm going to simplify that even further. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we have an improper fraction now for our axis of symmetry. Our axis of symmetry is x equals 3 over 2, which I could change to a mixed number. So how many whole groups of 2 are there in 3? There's 1 with 1 left over. That'll help me find on the number line where my axis of symmetry is. So 1 and 1/2 is halfway between 1 and 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put my axis of symmetry as a dashed line right there. I need to find the vertex. When I go to find the vertex, I'm going to use the improper fraction. It's easier than the mixed number. So I'm going to look for my y value when I use the equation negative 16 times x squared plus 48 times x. I'm going to use the improper fraction because it makes the arithmetic easier and I don't have a calculator, so I'm going to do it this way. Y equals negative 16 times 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4, plus 48 times 3/2. And you notice I'm doing this step by step. If you try and put all of this in your calculator at once, you may end up with a number that doesn't work. You have to do step by step. So y equals, let's look at this. 4 goes into 16. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 16 4 times. Negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 48 24 times. Here's what I'm doing in my head real quick. 3/4 would be 75, so it's going to be a little bit less than 75. I know that that's going to end up to be 72. 36 negatives and 72 positives combine to be 36 positives. So my vertex is going to be the ordered pair 1.5, comma 36. And I need to plot that. So here I go up to 36 and over to 1.5. There's my vertex. I knew I could kind of take the shortcut and just look for the y because I knew that my x value is going to be on the axis of symmetry. So check. I graphed the axis of symmetry. I plotted the vertex. I can graph and reflect the y-intercept. Well, what was my y-intercept? It was the c value. So I'm going to put a point on the y-axis at 0. I'm going to reflect that. Since this is already scaled in halves, I can count 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 1/2, 2/2, 3/2 to reflect it. And now I need another point. Well, in this case, the other point is going to be an easy number to pick. Let's just pick the number 1, all right? So we're going to have y equals negative 16 times my x squared plus 48 times x. So when x equals 1, I'm going to put 1, 1. Squaring a 1 is just 1, and then 1 times anything is itself. So this is quick, easy mental math. Y equals negative 16 plus 48. I have more positives than negatives. How many more is 48 than 16? So I'm going to subtract 32. So now that's another point. When x is 1, y is 32. So I go across to 1, my x-axis, and 32 here. I reflect that. I count 1/2 and 1/2. I have my 5 points. I can connect. And then the last thing I have to do is, since we're looking for what the vertex means, the vertex in this case tells me that the vertex tells me the ball reached its maximum height, which was, going to the vertex, 36 feet after 1.5 seconds. Done. Make sure you email with any questions.